G'day guys, welcome to Attack Line.
First of all, apologies for the unforeseen hiatus the last couple of months. We have been attempting to film, but last week we were once again hampered by technical difficulties. Someone actually spilled beer all over the camera. This week we've endeavoured to bring you one of our final episodes filled with content, laugh and good times.
We've got an exclusive Attack Line interview with Australian Olympic libero Aden Tutton and his equally talented brother and 2012 men's AVL coach Brad. Of course, we will be including your favourite segments, the Metre Ball, the Rumour Mill and Ben Lever's YouTube clip of the week. This is Attack Line. We're going to get into the finals games that happened over the previous weekend, starting with the League Women, but for now we'll have a quick rundown of the teams that didn't make the top four. Henley Hawks, similarly to Port Adelaide Power, are in a deep development stage at the moment. Coach Brad Tutton has opted to blood a lot of youth throughout the year, sacrificing wins for the future success of the club. It's of his opinion that this experience is invaluable for the girls, so they'll definitely be a team to watch next year.
Norwood Bears, coached by Andy Hunter, also had a strong year, just missing out on that coveted fourth final spot. They had some great wins throughout the year, including defeating 2011 Premiers USC Lion in 5 sets. Celebrating their 25th year as a club, the Norwood girls really epitomised the Bear spirit, letting their presence on court known. The Norwood girls will also be a team to watch in the upcoming 2013 season, but for now let's turn our attention to the weekend's finals action.
First to start off with, USC Lion have consolidated their spot in the grand final with an emphatic win over long-time rivals Mount Lofty. USC Lion changed their lineup with usual setter Beck Reeve taking on a pass-hitting role. Women's AVL star Olivia Orchard and veteran Stacey Naismith took on the setting role, unsettling the Mount Lofty side led by fellow AVL stars Anna Maycock and Hannah Ross. It was a tight tussle, but USC Lion came away with the goods in a 5-setter, winning the 5th set 15-12.
Earlier on in the day, the South Adelaide Panthers defeated Austral Phoenix 3-0. In a typical gritty Austral fashion, each set was a struggle for the favoured South Adelaide girls to overcome. South have now advanced to the preliminary finals where they face the star-studded Mount Lofty, who are keen to make amends for their narrow semi-final defeat.
Now we will turn our attention to the League Men. Once again, we will just touch on the teams that were unable to qualify for the 2012 final series.
The Austral Phoenix have been hard at work trying to diminish the image of league cellar dwellers, and in 2012 more than accounted for the failures of season prior. Probably more deserved of a final spot than their higher ranked counterparts, Austral played the majority of the season without a recognised second middle blocker, but youngsters Dave Carey and Seb DeWild more than accounted for this, showing their more favoured counterparts how it's done through the middle. Coach Simon Phillips has really bonded this team together, and with his guidance I expect the Austral boys to be a purple powerhouse come the 2013 season.
The South Adelaide Panthers were also unlucky to miss finals this season, missing out by set percentage to crosstown rivals USC Lion. Very much in a transitional stage, with 5 of their starting 6 retiring in the past 3 seasons, coaches Andrew Conan-Dwyer and Scooter Mansell will be pleased with the development of youngsters bursting through the ranks. With a possible inclusion of big-hitting Jimmy Dowley in 2013, I expect the red and black to roar once again in the upcoming season.
But turning our attention back to the 2012 final series, some big matches have occurred over the previous weekend, so let's get into it.
That's right, Chad. Norwood have booked their grand final ticket with a 3-1 victory over a resilient Mount Lofty outfit. After dropping the first set, the Norwood boys boasted the services of Australian Olympic star Harry Peacock, kicking it up a gear, taking the next 3 sets in a dominant fashion. In an unusual turn of events, Harry will be unavailable for the grand final, but Norwood will regain the services of opposite hitter Nick Anstey, who is on representative beach duties for Australia.
Prior in the day, the Henley Hawks really emphasised their premiership credentials with a dominant display against Brighton-based USC Lion. With an unfamiliar lineup taking the court for the Lion boys, they were unable to ever really get started as Henley dominated the net and piled on the points. A game with a bit of feeling in it, Henley led by Travis Moran and Brad Tutton were able to overcome the young Lion side who lacked composure when push came to shove. So, with the first 2 weeks of the volleyball postseason out of the way, the playoff picture is starting to emerge.
So with last week's victory over USC Lion, next week the Henley Hawks must beat Mount Lofty in order to advance to the grand final. That's in an effort to reduce their magic number to 3.
Right, then Mount Lofty advanced to the National Eastern Division Northwestern to play South Adelaide.
So if Mount Lofty beats South Adelaide and Henley beats Mount Lofty in the Australian Southwestern Division East Northern, then Norwood goes to the Skip Cup. Unless Mount Lofty can upset Henley and tie with South Adelaide, then Austral would play USC Lion in a blind choice round robin. And if no clear winner emerges from all of this, a two-man sack race will be held on consecutive Sundays until a champion can be crowned. So we're joined today with Bradley Tutton, Henley Hawks captain and AVL head coach for 2012. Welcome, Brad.
Thank you, thanks for having me.
So, Brad, you're the newly appointed South Australian AVL coach alongside the experienced Mike Chemney. South Australia hasn't had an AVL side since 08 and you've jumped the opportunity to direct the team. So, ideally, what do you expect out of the upcoming season?
Well, it's great to get the crew together back in South Australia. In previous years, it's always been separate clubs that have been involved. So for us to now have a senior state team, it's really progressing forward. There is going to be a big focus on development, but at the same time, a very big focus on having the most elite squad that South Australia can have. So, so based on that, we're looking for some big results, but also looking to get some development opportunities out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot of talented players already established themselves in South Australia and a big pool of potential youth. Are you looking to have a combination of these players in the team?
Yeah, definitely. So the structure this year, we're looking to have around 16 people in the squad. We'll have anywhere between 10 or 12 people that will travel. The remaining 4 to 6 we're going to have as a training squad. So we really want to make sure that we're going to be taking care of the youth as well as the elite as well.
Absolutely. So you played AVL for Mount Lofty seasons prior with much success. Do you believe that the knowledge and experience that you've gained throughout these times, that the South Australian proper players has what it takes to win the premiership?
Yeah, definitely. We've got some fantastic AVL players that have played in the past that are really keen to be involved. So some people like Travis Moran, so potential to have an Olympian in there. People like Casey Grice, who have had some great experience on the beach.
Hawks players. Any Hawks players?
Yes, some Hawks players. But alongside of that, we've got people like Marcus Jones and Luke Cagnardi that have played overseas and been at the AIS before. So I certainly believe that we have the experience. Just a matter of getting the team together and creating that strong unit, and then we'll be able to move forward with some success this year.
Absolutely.
Now lastly, we can't have Brad Tutton on here without talking about the Henley Hawks. Now, they had a pretty emphatic win over USC Line, unfortunately for me, on the weekend. Now with you and Trav Moran leading the boys, do you expect to take it all the way? What are your plans for the next couple of weeks?
Well, we certainly have the list there to take it out this year. We haven't found the exact structure that we're looking for as yet. We've had a very up and down season, but coming to the end of this season, we've really started to show some great form on the court. We've also got Casey Grice coming back, which has been our most handy player for the season. So we're certainly looking to bring it together for this last game, and we've had a good run against Lofty this year, so we're looking forward to it.
Well, sounds good, Brad. All the best for the upcoming State League team, and for those who are looking to head out to AVL trials, they'll be heading there at Brighton High School. Check your local guides on the internet. Thanks again, Brad.
Cheers, thank you. Thanks.
For those that were following online and on Facebook, Dizzy and I spent the majority of our money going over to Melbourne to watch the Australian Junior National Volleyball Championships.
First and foremost, a massive congratulations goes out to all the players, coaches and managers at this year's Australian Junior Volleyball Championships. South Australia came second in the President's Cup, and as a state we can hold our heads high as we all returned with a medal around our necks. In summary, our teams achieved the following. Under 17 men won a bronze medal with All-Star 7 awards going to Jordan Culotti and Jack Whaley. Under 17 women won a silver medal with All-Star 7 award going to Britt Kendall. Under 19 men won a bronze medal with the All-Star 7 award going to Adam Winter.
The under 19 women, they won gold, and the All-Star 7 representatives were Bonnie McKenzie and Georgie Rowe. Under 23 women, they achieved bronze, and the All-Star 7 representative with Beth Carey. The under 23 men won silver, and the All-Star 7 representatives were Brendan Clues, Michael McEwen and Hamish Moore.
Here at Attackline, we hope you brought back new and improved skills back to the South Australian Volleyball League, and it's good to see those competing in the finals for 2012. Over the course of the week, we acquired over 10 hours of video footage across all teams, updated live scores via Twitter and Facebook, and were guest commentators and DJs for the Celebrity Volleyball match and the Oz Green and Gold match. We also sat through 2 Chris Schott speeches, surprisingly shorter than usual, which was an achievement in itself. Throughout the next week, we'll be compiling an epic montage of videos in a separate episode.
Shout outs to PM, the under-17 men's team, who provided us with sandwiches during the week. It was our only source of vegetables other than lettuce and tomato, which were inherent to a Big Mac. We ended the week as promised at the Crown Casino with the Australian Olympic team and only lost one iPhone. All in all, it was a great week and fantastic to see such young talent coming through the ranks.
Alright guys, so we alluded to this at the top of the show. We have national hero and Australian volleyball Olympian Aden Tutton.
How's it going?
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Aden, now obviously there is a fair bit to talk about. Of course, the Olympics are a big topic, but you're back in Adelaide. You're originally an Adelaide boy. Now, I mean, after you hired the Olympics, what have you been up to back in good old Adelaide?
I've actually been taking it easy. Taking it easy. Yeah, a couple of weeks free. We start the club season in a few weeks, and I'm hoping to head off this weekend. So just recharging the batteries.
Back, catching up with friends, and being a national hero.
Spending a bit of time with the family.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Sounds good. Now the Olympic dream started in June with the Asian group qualification event. Now Australia was the lowest ranked out of all these, out of these 8 teams, and with the lowest age aggregate of 22 years. How did you expect to go in this Asian qualification?
Well, we actually played everyone last year that we needed to beat from the Asian zone, and we beat them and we lost to them. So we knew, we knew we could do it, but then we knew it was going to be quite difficult. So I mean, like, you know, we were as confident as you could be in that sort of situation.
So playing China in that last game, how did you feel when it was coming close to match point and you thought this is happening?
Well, I actually, like I tell a lot of people, there was one moment in the game where I turn and I look at the scoreboard and we're up 20-10, and I thought, oh my God, we're going to the Olympics. And I think, that was a pretty huge moment for me, just to be able to enjoy those last couple of points and sort of celebrate with the boys. So
it's crazy. It was a big moment in Australia. I don't know if you knew the effects, but over here in SA, we were getting pretty pumped up at State League and via Facebook. Did you have any? All the banter on Facebook?
I think for us, the banter on Facebook, I think it was the biggest thing. We all sort of got back to our rooms and sort of all of our Facebooks are blown up a bit, and everyone's writing the messages and. It was a sort of real special moment.
So at times, did you ever, after qualifying, did you ever just have to sit there and pinch yourself and be like, oh my God, I'm actually going to the Olympics? Like, there's only a handful of people worldwide that have ever been.
Yeah. I mean, it was actually quite surreal, I think, and it didn't really sink in until we got there. I think even when we travelled to Brazil and Russia, and we had quite a long preparation before the Olympics. It really wasn't surreal until we sort of went into the fitting rooms and we get all our bags and bags of clothes, and then the volleys, and the sweet jumpers and stuff like that. But it was only once we got there and everything started to get into motion that it really became real.
So tell us a little bit about the opening ceremony.
It was a real special moment. All dressed up in our sort of cricket whites and sort of baggy green jacket, we all called it. No, it was an hour walk from the village, so we had a big long walk, and it was all school kids clapping on the side and everyone cheering, and so we had quite a long walk before we got into the stadium. But I mean, as soon as we walked through that tunnel, it was sort of magic. Just photo flashing and it was sort of undescribable, really.
So in a sense of volleyball, I mean, having the youngest team once again in the actual tournament itself, basically untried on a grand stage. Like you said, you played many of these teams prior with losing. What were your expectations going into the Olympics as a team?
We try not to put too much sort of result-based sort of goals in there. I mean, our quarter-final we talked about. We knew we had to win 2 games to make the quarter-final. I mean, it didn't work out that way in the end. But we really we came in wanting to crash parties, and that was one thing we said. We sort of want to try and ruin it for the big teams. And I think in the end we did against Poland.
Against Poland.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about that. It was 3-1 victory?
3-1 victory, yeah. I think we got a lot of the confidence from the game before. I think going 2-0 up against Italy and just falling a little short was a bit, that was a bit of a sour moment. And I think, when we changed ends at 2-0 up, we all sort of had that fire in the eyes, saying it's going to be different today. We're not going to let this one slip. So.
Yeah, I know for one, sitting at home, the team really embodied the sort of Australian underdog fighting spirit the entire tournament, and it was great to sort of sit home and not watch Channel 9 because they didn't show it, but on Foxtel and on live streams they showed plenty of it, and it was great to sit back and watch and just enjoy you guys cause one of the biggest upsets in Olympic history, I reckon. So were you aware of what basically you were creating by winning big games like this? Or was it just to get on Facebook exploding? After
we were all pretty aware. I think something we looked at, there was like a media guide that we all got given, and we all sort of flicked through it. And of all the teams that were played in the Olympics, Australia had never beaten any of those teams in a major competition in both pools. So we sort of knew that any result for us was a bit of history, I think. And I think we're all just really keen to just show how far we've come along. And I think the Olympics was the perfect sort of stage to sort of show that off him, because we've been working really hard. We had a long year and a half with our preparation, and we played a lot of good teams and we came really close. So that was sort of the icing on our cake for the effort we put in.
Absolutely. I think so. We alluded to it in a prior question, but you had an average age of 22, and that was the youngest in the tournament. You have players 18 years of age like Lincoln Williams. Yourself, you're holding up the aggregate age at 27. Now, if we look at the average age of other teams like Brazil, they have an average age of 31. Do you expect to be playing in Rio yourself? And as a team, we've definitely got the platform. Do you see yourself as a part of that going ahead 4 years?
I'm going to take a couple of months and decide what my exact plans are. But I mean, this group has got so much potential, and I think it'd be really amazing to be a part of it. Because I really think we all believe that if we stick together, we can win a medal in Rio. And I think that sort of belief, sort of an Australian volleyball team has never sort of had. I think to be able to realistically be able to compete with the top teams in the world, over a sort of sustained period. I think it's a really exciting time for us.
So next major tournament is the Asian Championships held in Qatar next year. Expectations for that? I know you said you don't have a lot of results based, but do you think you can win a medal there?
Yeah, I think we can. I mean, I think we can win Asian Championships. I think that's going to be. I think for us that's going to be a big goal. I think qualifying means we won the Asian zone this year.
Yeah.
So I think it's more just keep sort of reinforcing those results, that these guys can't beat us. I think that's a sort of mentality we've got to keep sort of ingraining in the guys, but these guys aren't going to beat us. We're going to play our powerful sort of style against them.
Yeah, that's the way to go, I reckon. Aden, thanks very much for being on the show. We've got a special segment lined up in a minute, but thanks very much, and congratulations
very much.
on the Olympics.
Cheers for having me.
Henley Hawks are publicly on a recruiting spree in the last few years. How much would it cost them to see you don the red and white?
Deal's done. Got to palm in a Powerade every week.
Who out of the Australian team is most likely to Google their own name?
Probably Smitty.
If you weren't playing volleyball for Australia, what would you rather be doing?
Kicking goals for the Richmond Football Club.
Who has a quicker reaction time, you or Trent Cotchin?
Trent Cotchin for sure.
Who would win in a head-to-head battle between you and Andy Earl in Call of Duty?
Depending how hard I camped, but I think it would be Andy.
You had a bit of downtime during the Olympics to check out the sights of London. What sport has the most attractive females?
We're actually across the apartment from the Swedish handball team, so they were quite stunners.
What was the best item you received from the Olympics in 2012?
We actually got Dr. Dre beats that were in Aussie colours. Pretty sweet.
What is the best John Uriarty quote?
Spanish one, La Concha de la Lora.
And what does that mean?
Google it.
Who would you hit a meter ball at?
Brad.
When it comes to Reds on the weekend, bro?
Nah, it's alright.
Welcome to the Rumour Mill. Now, we've alluded to a new stadium being built for State League for the 2013 season, but a ready-made solution could already be in existence. The Marion Sport and Leisure Centre has had a contract with Basketball SA for the last 3 seasons, which runs out at the end of the 2012 season. Unlike volleyballers, basketballers tend to play their games and leave, instead of socialising with friends, drinking Powerade and rubbing Finalgan in unmentionable areas.
That's right, Chad. And in fact, here at Attackline, we've been doing a bit of research and have discovered that the cafeteria and the leisure centre itself are begging for volleyball to return on Saturdays. As a community, we bring in more money, spend more time and use less petrol by playing games at Marion every week. Let's hope those in power can follow through with this initiative and bring volleyball back to where it belongs. So that wraps up another episode of Attackline. Good luck to those playing finals this week. We'll leave you now with Ben Lever's YouTube clip of the week. See you next time on Attackline.